So it's Easter at the moment, so I thought I'd try and do something a little bit Easter themed, though, which is this thing here. It's a craft thing. It doesn't seem to say Easter anywhere, but it's like a giant hopping egg, and there's a rabbit in the background. So it seems kind of Eastery. Wind up happy hopper. I don't know if this is going to work because it's another one of those little. So it's like my little friend the squid that we made a while ago, which is turning out quite solid now actually. It hasn't fallen apart. It's holding up there. So it's the same kind of material, and if you remember from this video, some of the colours had in fact gone hard, and so they may not work. So this was picked up from an op shop, so it is essentially new. It's been. Did I get it from an op shop? I might have got it from the school fair recently. Either way, everything is in their containers, but I don't know if they've dried out or not. So this might not be very useful. We've got some feathers. If it came with some instructions, I've lost them. They're on the back. So that's the back there. You can have a look at it. This is by Creative PL, I think. Creative PL is a registered trademark of Aldi stores. So it's like that German supermarket chain that they don't actually have in New Zealand, but they do have in other places. So I'm going to I'm not going to read the instructions because they're upside down for me, but I'm just going to work out that you have to start off by rolling out the base a little bit. I feel like I need a hard surface to do this one. We might do it on the regular show, which I got from Cash Converters, which I haven't ever watched. Regular show on DVD. I have watched the regular show, some episodes, but not all of them. But I'm going to use them, not the ones on this DVD. I'm going to use this DVD to roll things out instead of doing it on the cutting board underneath there, which makes a lot more sense. Alright, so first thing is the yellow. If we can't get the yellow to work, then we're pretty much stuffed. And I'd say that's still okay. So we're in with we're in with some luck here. And so let's just, well, first off we need to have two small bits for the wings. It's not very useful, so we'll put that one there, and then we'll put that one there, and we'll see how we go. I feel like I should just stick this on the outside of the egg, and then whatever's left over I use for the wings, because I don't want to have the wings too small. They are quite small in the picture though, so they're not really, and I don't think you use the yellow for anything else. So you could probably save some for the flowers in their head. I don't really understand this thing at all. Like, it's a wind-up egg that has flowers in their head. But you know those German supermarket chains that they don't have in New Zealand. They're quite wacky. I have been to a couple in Australia, but which is how I know what they are. But never here because we don't have them. But they sound like a brand of car manufacturers. Aldi. Is that how you say it? I don't even know how you say it. Aldi. Oh, how is it different from the car manufacturers? Well, we will find out when this egg is completed. I don't think we will. Like, I didn't even need this at all, so that was a waste of time. So we can take away a regular show, which I think is a very bizarre TV show. Of the ones that I've watched, like if it's supposedly meant to be for kids, it's kind of like, it seems like it's for teenagers, and not quite for the youngins. Which I think I saw somewhere that it was kind of meant to be originally a more adultish TV show, and sort of got a bit retrofitted. Or I could be making that up. Maybe it really is. I'll take a lot of this out, because I don't want it to be too thick on the outside. Like, it feels like there's a lot of it. I don't want to break anything. I'm going to break the. It's not even hopping. So that was a bit of a disappointment. Maybe I'll block this up. Well, I think I did just break it a minute ago. Oh, just do something. How much do you have to wind it up by? I just keep winding and winding. Yeah. Well, that part doesn't work, but that's alright. It wasn't like I was going to get it to be hopping around a lot. Or maybe because I've kind of got some stuck in there. Or I've got a lot stuck in there. I don't think that's going to be the problem. Well, the funny thing about this, of course, is that as soon as I get it, it's going to suddenly start moving around while I'm doing this, because I've just wound it all the way up. So expect some funny hijinks when that happens, if it happens, because it might not. So far it's not looking very smooth. So I probably should read the instructions on how to make this smooth. Well, I've got it to cover all over the side, and it's quite thick in places, so we have to spread it out. There has to be something I can use that's probably better than my hands, because I think it's worth trying. Worth trying a little bit to make it not look so terrible. Well, it's very thick on the back and not so thick on the front. And if I wrap it around like that, it looks okay, actually. Well, it looks no, I'm going to use it. But we've got a lot of extra stuff here, so I think that's more than enough for the wings. And really, I just want a giant yellow egg. So I'm not particularly fussed if they have wings, but they're going to try. That should be enough for the wings, right? It's quite nice stuff to have on your hands, but I cannot see how anyone's going to get. There's probably some trick. What could I use that's sitting on my desk? This thing. Well, we're going to have to use something that's not hands to smoothen it out. And that's actually working a lot more effectively than I was expecting it to do, to be honest. So I'm kind of happy that I tried, because what have I done this? It just looks so bad. And then professional egg making people will be like, oh my goodness, all he had to do was this. It still doesn't look really that round, but it looks a bit better. I don't know where you're supposed to hold it on the... okay, bring back this, and maybe I should get 2 of these things and do it. But I'm just, like, every time you touch it with your fingers, it just gets mucked up. And it's going to be a bit thicker at the bottom, that's for sure. Unless I actively push it up. What do you think of that? That's round enough. Round and round and round. Here we go. They got a lot of wrinkles. That's good enough for me. I'm happy with that. Like, oh, maybe I can go a bit more. I don't want to break this thing. I've almost broken that. This is not the best thing to be using. So I've only got a pile of electronic stuff on this desk, and so everything is electronic related, and Lego, but I don't want to use Lego because that's just going to leave little Lego marks everywhere. I've got some exciting things Lego related, well, fake Lego related today. So possibly the largest fake Lego I've ever picked up. Alright, so there we go. That's them. Their main part done. I feel like I could, there's actually ample to make, there's enough to put a little bit more on, and I'm wondering if I should. Is it thin in any place? There's a tiny hair there. There's a bit missing there, so, but if I put more on, it's just more of this kind of stuff that we have to do. We can't have the whole video of that, especially when it's taking 10 minutes to get to this point. So I'll put a little bit there. Did you hear my stomach just grumble then? You probably did. Okay. It's the Easter. It's very thin at the front, so we're going to have to put a bit more on the front, which is the worst place to put it, because it's going to be hard to spread that out. Got to stop making funny sound effects. It's like when you say "ow" when it didn't really hurt. But it just feels like it's the appropriate thing to say. Like when a piece of paper drops on you, or some feathers even. But did I lose the feathers? I've lost the feathers. Wow. I didn't really care about the feathers. How can I lose the feathers? They're around somewhere. Okay. Did you even see the feathers come out? What if I just do this? So this would be a lot easier, this egg, if it wasn't for the little wind up part, which doesn't even work. So this little thing here is, oh, no, don't do that. Alright, that's close enough to being an egg. And then we'll put these two together, mix them all together in a big ball, and then split them up into two. And so these have little fingers on them in the picture. So we have to try at least to make it look a little bit like the picture. So if I put that in there and then squash it out a bit, and we'll get this one and squash it out a bit. It's a bit bigger, isn't it? I guess the trick with these things is that using your fingers is not a very good idea. They just don't work. And we will put in, I was hoping this would actually work a lot better than it does. So cut it in like this and then squeeze it up like that. And that kind of looks a little bit like the picture, maybe. It might when it goes on the egg. And this one's not working out at all. Right, squash it, and it looks like very much like a Millennium Falcon. We're doing the Millennium Falcon trick here. Kind of, not really. It's a bit like the rebellion symbol. Right. And they're going to have one. I feel like I need something. What could I use? I'm going to use this thing here to push it into place. Okay, which is the front? Oh, this is the front. Okay, so that kind of looks right. That one's got to be in a different position. I'm not going to get them sticking out to the side like in the picture. That's just not going to happen. Or it might happen. Alright. So their arms are in the wrong place. Oh, but you can't. Oh, great. Alright. So they have to be the same height, otherwise it's going to look really bad. And they have to be sticking out a little bit, otherwise they're going to get over the top of the... You really think they could... Oh, they can't really. I was going to say they should have had that thing at the back of it, and then that would have looked a lot better, but then it probably wouldn't work. Unless you had some really complicated engineering going on the inside. But then again, it doesn't work anyhow. But I feel like, when I feel like I missed it, should I have got the back? No. Why can't it just... How am I supposed to wind it up? Okay, we're going to have to stick it out like this. So there we go. I haven't ruined it too much. Because I've got to be able to wind it up. In theory, like at some point... Well, I almost did something then. Oh, I'm going to put my fingerprints everywhere. We can't really work out why that doesn't work until we've finished the whole thing. So we've done that part, and we have 15 minutes left. Cool. So the rest of it's real simple. It's just the colours, and I'm sure that some of these are not going to work anymore. They're going to have dried up. Well, this one, oh no, here we go. So that one, I have the funny feeling has dried up. No, the green's all good. Green's all good. Orange is all good. I think the pink's all good. And the other orange is all good. There's a lot of orange, which makes me confused because there's seriously not that much going on there. And there's all these colours, which aren't even... Oh, these are for the top. Right, well, I don't actually understand. Oh, I guess I do. They're going to have... So we'll do the buttons. And since we've got so much of this, we're going to have to do very big buttons. I need something to push this into. Do I have anything round here? No, I don't. Well, I have this little... That's too small. Little Halloween thing. That's not making it work. Okay, well, it's got to be thicker than that. Alright, that's button number 1. And then they've got 2 little dots. And then I'm going to use this to sort of push it into place. That doesn't look anywhere. That looks terrible. That's just too much green. Hold on, we do need some more green for the top. So we don't have to make big buttons. What am I thinking about? There's all that green there. So we just do a little tiny one. And it's still very big. Okay, it's basically 2 of these things in order to get this to work. That is so much bigger than in the thing. Way more bigger. And we've got 2 lots of orange for what looks like 1 beak, which looks very red to me in the picture. So we'll just use 1 giant thing to make a cone. That's going to be the hugest cone. Alright. So, well, it's a beak, so I should make it look like a beak. It doesn't have to look like the way they've done it. It looks very much like a dinosaur beak. It's a duck beak. They've got a duck. They've got a little duck thing. So the duck thing is going to go like this. I feel like I'm really ruining it now. It was kind of off to a good start. But they've given you so much stuff. And I have to use it. Because otherwise, well, it just wouldn't be very good if I didn't. People might say things. They'd call me the boy who didn't use all his plasticine clay thing. Whatever this material is really called. It must have a specific name. Like it pops up all the time. And you think when they're manufacturing this, they're like, order some more of the stuffy whatchamacallit, and they've got to have a proper name. So it's probably got like a chemical name. Polypropanol hexazygon tool. There we go. That's a way longer nose than I think it's supposed to have. And now we need the black. Wind up. It's even got it on the little picture there, so it's just obviously meant to go with this. Because I don't have to use everything, every last bit of it, do I? I could just make something else with the leftovers, which is a much more sensible something that's this one's dried out. It's a little bit dried out. It's mostly dried out. It's almost entirely dried out. We only need a little tiny bit. No, I think this is useless, this one. That one's not going to work, which is a bad start. So it might kind of work, but it doesn't seem to. It doesn't know. What are the side? They may have to have purple eyes, but if one doesn't work from there, then I suspect the rest of them are all going to be dried out. And that's dried out. So that's dried out, and of course this one is going to be dried out. So that was a bit of a letdown. So, alright, so that leaves us with a lot of orange and some bits of green. Now I feel bad for wasting everything. But we're just going to have to go with a different... Well, they're not going to have all the feathers and stuff. They're going to have one little... Alright, well, what kind of eyes could they have? Well, they're going to have green eyes. But they can be little round ball eyes, because that will be cute. And you can kind of make that with your hand. That one needs a little bit more. Well, it's a bit disappointing because all the dark moody colors don't work. Alright, so there's their green eyes, and we'll just put them in like that, and then we'll put that one in like that. I'm going to push it in a bit. And what other colors do we have? We've only got the orange and the pink. So they could have 2 little tiny pink dots for pupils, which might possibly, well, this is not going to stay on at its current state, but they do stick together when you leave them when they dry, and they do that reasonably well. So that's quite a positive thing. And then the pink one can go in the middle, and that looks like scary. Very scary, very scary indeed. And we'll mix them together. I think we've gone through, maybe I should have mixed the green with the pink and then got some new colour that would have looked a little bit better than that. We haven't actually put the pink one in there. That's kind of scary. It's not looking very Eastery. Well, I think if we're going to make it Eastery, they've got to have like some bunny ears, because that's Eastery, right? So we'll get the remaining orange out, because they can't really, like, they've got like green in their head and like some sort of green thing going on. I can't really do orange, can I? Because that's going to look hideous. So we'll just do pink ears. Well, that's just silly. We can't really do pink ears. Like, I mean, I guess it does kind of make sense. But we have to do something that's on their head that isn't green, because there's a lot of green already, and isn't strictly orange, entirely orange. So we're going to make a hat, which is not going to look good. It's going to be a very strange looking hat, and it's going to have a lot of green in the middle, like so. And it's going to go there. Alright, and then oh, I know what I should have done. I should have done... Oh, making a mess. Emergencies. No one will notice that. There's a little bit of green now in the middle. So I'm going to put one layer of orange down. And then a layer of green. I feel like I don't have to use up all the green. Oh, it's all sticking together. It's all a mess. Okay. And another layer of orange, and then a little bit of green on the top, and that's their very, very dashing Easter hat, which is going to go on their head. Somehow that actually looks a lot better than I was thinking it was going to look. I thought it was going to look really, really terrible, and it does look really, really terrible, but not quite. And we're going to have to just mash it together. Not quite as bad as it could have. Like, you know, I don't think it's too bad. I'm going to kind of munch in the yellow a bit so that it stays. They've got to look a bit happier. Actually, maybe if I just dig all the way through, that looks fine. That looks good. Everything is fine. It's that cartoon. With the guy and everything's burning. Everything is fine. That's right. It's all good. That's beautiful. And I think since everything else is all, like, I don't even think there's probably like some little trick you can use, like adding water or something. And it's suddenly, well, I've got some water. I'm going to put this in here. And then I'm going to add a small bit of water, and then, well, what happens? Does it go back to its normal state? Because that would be so cool if it did. So there's a bit of water in there, and we're going to see. We have 5 minutes left. It's just making a big mess. Well, I'm going to leave that one overnight to moisten itself up, and then I'm going to leave the rest of this to dry in its awesomeness. And oh, we forgot the feather, which I've lost. So the feather's not there. Here it is. Alright, well, we might as well do this one little tiny pink feather that they give you, because it's very nice of them to give you a pink feather. They didn't have to. Alright, and then, so this should be really easy. It should just poke into the side, like as I was saying. That looks cool. No, it doesn't. It looks so bad. But that's fine. That's fine. Alright, there you go. That's my Easter thing. Easter egg happy hopper that doesn't hop, looks nothing like the front picture, and doesn't have any of the important parts here. But wind me up and see me hop. Not likely. And again, it's a joking hazard for kids under 3, though I'm pretty sure there are some ambitious 4-year-olds and 5-year-olds who could find some way of choking on this, or poisoning themselves by eating the contents. They look so neat and tidy in the pictures here. Do not bake in oven. Alright, well, we'll stick it in the microwave and it will be fine. So thanks for watching, happy Easter and all that, and I'll see you next time. Right, close up, just so you know what you're looking at. Oh, look at that. Oh. We have to actually, we actually have to kind of put some effort into making it look like a beak, don't we? Because you can't change your mind like tomorrow, because it's going to be dry by tomorrow. And then there'll be nothing. Then they're gonna. I keep thinking this is like Howard the Duck, which is not a good duck to be. Or it could be one of these really badly made ducks that they used to have in parts of New Zealand, in Levin and in Picton. Badly made. Well, I don't think they were that badly made. I've never tried to make a large size paper mache Disney character. For a park or similar. They look like paper mache, but they're not. But if you live in New Zealand and you've ever been to Picton or you've been to Levin, then that's the 2 places that I've seen them at. You'll know what I'm talking about. That's what they kind of remind me of, a really goofy looking Donald Duck or a Howard the Duck. But they're not either of those. They're a little bird and they're going cheep, 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 cheep. So bye!